Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan, and today we're doing an update on my bridge tanks.
Yeah, check this out, guys. Alright, so I know we're doing an update on Jack's tanks, but we have to talk about this guy a little bit. Little reflection, but there's that big royal blue Pleco that is in Cap's tank. And this is the 20-gallon beta tank here for Cap. We're working on this shelf. Pothos is going down. Put it into the princess tank. Doing another update on that really soon. But this little guy, this royal blue Pleco, what happens is these under gravel lights that we have in here go up and they put kind of like algae and stuff on these pothos roots and stems. And he started eating them, a lot of them. And we really didn't catch it. We were super busy. And most of them are still doing okay. But the ones that were going along over here that we initially were going to try to kind of, grow across the wall there, he pretty much cut off their lifelines. So there's this one's dying here too. This is about the only one left. So first of all, we're probably going to just take him out. He's going to get too big for this anyway. Probably going to put some little bristle noses back in here like we had before. Of course, the snails do an amazing job too. So we may not actually need a Pleco in here. We just put him in here kind of as a grow out anyway. He may end up going in the puffer tank with the green spotted and growing in there, but we have about 3 projects we're working on that are a lot bigger that we may put him in as well. So this whole process is going to have to kind of start over again. In the meantime, a lot of the ones that died, we clipped them off and we put them over here into Jack's tank. So we go back into Jack's room here and we took a lot of those pothos and we put them in these little guys, these little holders that we had on the top of your bridge tanks. Now, initially we had some strawberry vines we took there in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do so hot though.
No, they didn't really do that good.
Some of them did, and then some of them didn't, and they just kind of didn't do really well. I think there's just too much lighting in these tanks.
Yeah. And
you can see these roots have already taken off just in a matter of a couple of weeks. We put a lot of that pothos in here. This one here in particular already kind of crawled across here. I mean, look how this one's growing. So we got roots coming all through here. These guys will inevitably grow much easier. We're going to have them come down the sides of the tank. We're going to have them maybe go up on Jack's Wall of Fame here. Of course, there's Jack's Wall of Fame. Awesome, awesome. All the other fish tubers and YouTubers and subscribers that have sent us stuff. We put everybody up there on the Wall of Fame. As far as the destination for this tank, we're going to continue with this pothos going. The Avatar rocks are doing awesome. The albino bristlenose plecos have made these their homes, so there's some families in there. There's some families in that one down there. And when we get babies, we, kind of just let them fend for themselves. A lot of them have lived. Some of them we take out and trade in. The gouramis are doing really good in here. The albino pleco, some of those guys are still in here too. I'll show this one here. There's one of the big daddies. You can see the strided loaches are doing awesome. The candy cane tetra are doing great. We are thinking of moving the candy cane tetra out of here and putting them into another tank. We are working on several projects right now and just making this more of the gourami tank and the pleco tank and the strided loaches tank. These gourami are doing just phenomenal. These guys are about, how old now? 3 or 4 years old?
Yes.
I mean, they're beautiful. We love our golden gourami. Look at that big mama right there. She is gorgeous. Now, of course, you can see those background lights going on there. Those are our meteorite lights. We'll put a link in the description if you didn't see how we did that. And then we also have a little bit of bad news, right, buddy? Yeah. Unfortunately, Squirt, who we initially made that tank for because he was like a little runt,
yeah,
he ended up passing away.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of loss so far in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of expected, though, because he was a smaller turtle. He wasn't really going to live that long anyways, so.
Yeah, we took him to a veterinarian. We had the other turtles in here with him. He was in the same circumstances that they were in. We used to have a bridge up here, actually, for... when we initially put him in here and did this bridge video, a lot of people were like, hey, there's no bridge. Well, they were tiny little babies, And if you watch in that video, there's a lot of floating bamboo, and they used to kind of hang out there. They're very skittish when they're little.
Yeah.
And they would just come up and they would kind of go then away. They're much more amphibious when they're babies. A lot of people don't realize that about soft-shell turtles. But we did do several videos after that, and we showed how we put a basking bridge here that these 2 UV lights then branched onto, and they used to come out here and hang out. And we did several videos on those as well. All of the other turtles did well. They were big, they were healthy, a little too big for him. That's why we made him his own tank over here. However, they got really big. We were kind of faced with possibly not staying at our property because of the housing market being the way that it is. We weren't sure. Yeah, we weren't really sure what we were going to do. We did a whole video on that. And we had someone contact us that had a big, huge pond who had soft-shell turtles like ours. We decided to send them to him before it got cold so that they could have an opportunity to acclimate and hibernate. And they were about a year, year and a half old. And they did very well from what he told us. And we did a whole video on that a couple months back. Squirt, however, we put from his little tank back into this tank, and he was doing very well. But again, when we took him to that vet, they made it pretty clear to us that he was a tiny little runt with some issues, and in nature, probably would have been picked off right away. Right. We are absolutely ecstatic that we were able to give him the quality of life that we did for the short life that he had.
And he was happy.
Yeah, he was very happy. He was very cool in here, and he had an awesome setup. And we did a lot of videos on him.
Right.
You can check our playlist out if you haven't seen him. However, he is gone, and so now we're faced with what we want to do with this tank. We are most likely not going to get new turtles just because ultimately we have all these other projects we're working on.
We don't want more projects right now.
Yeah, we have so many projects we're working on for fish and everything. We do have Iastigi.
We want to make sure we give them the most care, and we can't do that when we're doing
other stuff, right? Yes. So we're going to probably take these 2 big root things out because they supported the bridge that came up to the UV lights. We're going to change the UV lights to regular lights. We're going to keep everything mostly the same. This is going to mostly become a tank for the gouramis and the striated loaches and the plecos. And we may add some other things, or we may just add more of those things. Yeah. Now, there are also some hill stream loaches in here, so we may add more of those. Those guys do good. They're usually hiding. But once in a while, we catch them on video, and they're pretty awesome.
Yes.
But they're just a little elusive. So anyway, that's the plan, guys, is to ultimately, make this just more of a fish tank. We're going to make it a little more fish-friendly, open this up here in the middle. Of course, if you haven't seen the background light video again, and the moon, and this, Earth video, and how we did all the lighting for this, we are hoping that this pothos does well. It looks like it's doing amazing already. I mean, look at the roots already growing. These were just clippings that we took off of Cap's tank.
Yes.
We're going to also be taking the puffers out of there, putting them into a larger tank. We may take some of the fish from here and put them in there. Again, we'll see. We'll be doing updates all along. But one of the really awesome things that we wanted to share with someone, a lot of people have asked us and said, hey, how come, you have all these cool designs you make and all these things that you do. How come you've never patented any of these things, right?
Well, we talked about this on Ohio Fish Rescue's live stream with Big Rich. And the reason why we haven't done it is because there are so many patents out there you would not believe. There's so many patents for so many things you wouldn't think of that there's probably no point of doing it because there already is a patent for it.
Right. So I've been designing aquariums and selling my designs on Popular Mechanics magazine for
on the back there was the thing you told me
25 years. Yeah, all kind of things. I've been doing this for 42 years. Since I was 5 years old, I had tanks in my bedroom just like you do now. You, of course, had tanks in your bedroom ever since you were born.
Yes.
We're newer to YouTube, but certainly not to this hobby by any means. No. We just never posted anything until now.
Yeah.
So anyway, these are some of the projects that we have. We have more that we're working on. But as a little bit of a cliffhanger for next week's video, we wanted to kind of show you the gentleman that did actually patent this design 24 years ago actually made something called an Aqua Trail, right?
Yes.
Check this out, guys. This is the last Aqua Trail in existence.
It's really old.
It's 24 years old. It was patented years ago by a gentleman named Mark, really cool guy who reached out to us.
Yeah.
And we talked to, and we're going to be doing a whole video on this and the whole idea, and talking a little bit more about this whole, industry of patenting
and how he made it and stuff
yeah,
like that.
It's incredibly interesting. We knew that things like this did exist. It was really awesome for Mark to reach out for us. Again, we're going to be doing a whole video on that, kind of going over that.
And I think it's pretty cool that he saw us, he saw our video, and he's like, oh, someone actually did this, but they made it themselves and patented it. So I thought that's pretty
right.
cool.
And other people have made things like this on YouTube and all around the world for years and years.
That's why we didn't do it, because it's someone already did it before.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that more in future videos, but this thing that you're holding is 24 years old. This is the last one
on this planet
in the original package. Yeah, isn't that neat?
Yes.
We're going to be talking about that more, and all of this, questions people have about patenting and ideas and designs.
This type of mechanism is made for smaller fish like ropefish, goldfish, betas like microfish, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to be showing it. We're going to be talking about all that, but we wanted to do an update on this and answer some questions and let you guys know about Squirt. Unfortunately, again, he was just a really little dude with some health issues, and we're glad we gave him the life that we did, as long as we did. At this point in time, we're just going to make these a fish tank. We may end up doing some other things down the road. We have other tanks that we're working on, but anyway, there's the update, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to explain something. We're not going to patent 2 PVC pipes in glass. Right. We made that. We're showing people how to make something because we want people to, genuinely make it. Right.
Yeah, it's just like Joey. Joey actually did an Aqua-Bridge years ago and said, hey, if you ever tried anything like this, let us know. We've been doing it for a long time, yeah. Yeah, and just so you guys know, too, a lot of people ask questions about this. You can see the gourami right here. She pretty much hangs out in there all day. There are many fish that do, and there are many fish that go through there and hang out in there and sleep in there. People always ask questions about, like, is there enough oxygen? Is there enough water flow? Is the chemistry of the tanks different? They swim constantly from tank to tank to tank. There's so much water flow with the filters. We've said this in every video, but we still get these questions. How is that water not stagnant? Because it's 4 inches and it's very short, and there's a huge opening. And you can see the gourami. I think she just came out of there.
Through them all the time, so the water's continuously moving.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't really recommend. Oh, there goes one right there. See that one?
She's right there.
There's another one over there.
They're pretty spazzy.
The gourami sometimes are. Yeah, they kind of like the tunnels. As more of these roots grow, there's going to be, more cover for them, and we're going to take this out and put some other stuff in there. Anyway,
it's like a secret path.
It was really a tank for the turtles, but now it's going to become more of a fish tank.
Yeah.
We enjoyed having those guys. We didn't want to feel pressured into making them a home when we didn't know what we were doing, so we decided to give them a great home.
We don't want them to be our guinea pigs. We want them to be happy.
Yeah, we have plans, and we talked about that in a video a couple months ago, to make an indoor pond. We eventually will. It'll most likely be for Aya at this point.
Yeah.
Because she is outgrowing her tank.
She's getting pretty big.
Yeah, she's getting big. And we may add some other turtles, after that or something. We're not exactly sure. But anyway, too, just as a reminder, if you want to be on Jack's Wall of Fame, definitely, email us. Our email is metalroar@AOL.com. We share it in every video. We'll have it in the description, and we have it in our About page. We'd love to send you some of our stickers, which are right there. And then, of course, get something from you to put on Jack's Wall of Fame so that people can kind of see your channel or your letter or whatever anytime. But anyway, guys, that's the update so far. That's what's going on. We're going to be doing all kind of updates on all our tanks, but we just wanted you to know that's what's going on with this one.
Yeah.
And next time you see this tank, it'll be quite a bit different. Might be some fish out, some fish in. And we are going to do a whole video on this whole Aqua Trail thing.
Yes.
And our conversation with Mark and everything like that, because that's going to be really neat. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably be next Friday, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.